Your phone buzzes. You feel it before you hear it. Your hand moves toward it before you've even decided to move. You check it. Nothing important. You put it down. 90 seconds later, you check it again. This happens dozens of times a day, maybe hundreds. You tell yourself it's a bad habit, a flaw in your discipline. But the real answer is far stranger. That twitch in your hand is 300,000 years old. It didn't start with a screen. It started on a savanna, in the dark, with your life depending on it. Picture an early human sitting at the edge of a small fire. The night around them is total. No streetlights. Every rustle in the grass could be wind, or it could be a predator. The humans who survived long enough to have children were not the calmest ones. They were the ones who checked, who looked up at every sound, who scanned the tree line one more time, just to be sure. Constant vigilance wasn't anxiety back then. It was the price of staying alive. This is where your phone checking habit actually comes from. Not from Silicon Valley, from the Pleistocene. Your brain evolved a system that rewards you for scanning your environment. Because for almost the entire span of human history, scanning kept you fed and unkilled. The tool didn't matter. Grass, shadows, a screen in your pocket. Your brain doesn't know the difference. It just knows. Check again. Here's where it gets more specific and more uncomfortable. In the 1950s, a psychologist named B.F. Skinner ran a series of experiments on pigeons. He put them in boxes with a lever. Some pigeons got a food pellet every time they pressed it. Predictable. Those pigeons pressed the lever calmly, only when hungry. But other pigeons got a pellet at random intervals, sometimes after one press, sometimes after 20. Those pigeons pressed it obsessively. They couldn't stop. Skinner called this variable ratio reinforcement, and it turned out to be the single most addictive reward pattern ever discovered. Not certainty, uncertainty. Now think about your phone. Every time you unlock it, you don't know what you'll find. Maybe nothing. Maybe a message from someone you like. Maybe 100 likes on a post. Maybe silence. You are, in a very real sense, the pigeon, and the lever is in your pocket. But why does uncertainty grip your brain harder than certainty does? This is where a second researcher matters. Neuroscientist Robert Sapolsky, who spent decades studying stress and reward systems in primates, found something that surprised even him. Dopamine, the brain chemical everyone associates with pleasure, doesn't actually spike the most when you get a reward. It spikes the most in the gap, right before you know whether you'll get one. The anticipation is the drug, not the payoff, which means the moment right before you check your phone is neurologically more intense than the moment you actually look at it. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar spent years studying primate social groups and found that for humans, tracking relationships wasn't a luxury. It was a survival mechanism just as critical as watching for predators. Early humans lived in small bands. You're standing in that band. Who liked you, who resented you, who might share food with you, and who might exile you, could determine whether you lived through a hard winter. Dunbar's research suggests the human brain grew partly to handle this social bookkeeping. Grooming, gossip, status, alliance. Your ancestors needed to constantly monitor where they stood with the group because the group was the only thing standing between them and the cold. Now look at your phone again. Notifications aren't just information. They're social information. A like, a comment, a text left unread. Your brain doesn't process these as pixels on a screen. It processes them as tribal status updates. Am I safe? Am I liked? Am I still in the group? Every check is a tiny ancient question about belonging, dressed up as a modern habit. This is why an unanswered text can feel disproportionately heavy. It's why watching a message go from delivered to read, with no reply, can produce something close to real anxiety. Your nervous system isn't overreacting. It's running software written for a world where being cut off from the group meant you might not survive the season. It cannot tell the difference between a friend going quiet and a friend group leaving you outside the fire. So you have two ancient systems stacked on top of each other, both fully intact in your modern brain. The predator scanning system, tuned by uncertainty, and the social status system, tuned by belonging. Your phone accidentally triggers both of them dozens of times an hour with a single buzz. Think about how strange this actually is once you slow it down. A piece of glass and metal in your pocket produces a small vibration. That's it. No predator, no tribe member standing in front of you, no fire crackling nearby. And yet, Your body responds as if something in your environment has genuinely changed. Your hand moves before your conscious mind has even weighed in. This is not a decision you're making. It's a reflex, borrowed from a world that no longer exists, aimed at a world that does. Consider, too, how differently your ancestors experienced information compared to you. For most of human history, news traveled at the speed of walking. A piece of gossip about a rival band, a warning about a drought 2 valleys over, might take days or weeks to reach you, if it reached you at all. Your brain evolved to treat information as rare and valuable, because it was. Every fact you received had probably cost someone something to bring you. You are not weak-willed. You are ancient hardware, running in an environment it was never built for. A brain shaped by scarcity is now living inside abundance. A brain shaped by rare, meaningful social contact is now flooded with hundreds of shallow social signals a day. A brain shaped by real physical danger is now pinged by notifications that carry none, but feel like they might. There's a reason this feels so hard to resist, even when you know all of this. Knowing why a reflex exists doesn't switch it off. You can understand exactly how a flinch works and still flinch. The scanning system, the anticipation system, the belonging system, none of them consult your conscious mind before firing. They evolved to be fast precisely because slow. Deliberate thinking gets you killed when a branch snaps behind you in the dark, which means the very quality that makes this instinct so useful in a crisis is the same quality that makes it so hard to argue with in a quiet, safe living room at 11 at night. It also helps to notice that you are not the only one caught in this. Everyone scrolling next to you on a train, everyone glancing down mid-conversation, everyone lying awake refreshing a feed, is running the exact same ancient software you are. This isn't a personal failing spreading through a generation by coincidence. It's one very old survival mechanism meeting one very new technology at global scale, all at once. Here's the part almost nobody says out loud. This isn't a design flaw in you. It's a design success in your ancestors. The exact same vigilance that makes you check your phone 40 times a day is the reason your bloodline survived ice ages, famines, and predators that no longer exist. You are, quite literally, descended from the checkers, the ones who looked up, the ones who scanned the dark one more time. Their anxious alertness is the reason you're here to be annoyed by your notifications at all. So what do you do with that? You can't delete 300,000 years of wiring with a screen time limit, but you can understand it. The next time your hand drifts toward your phone for no clear reason, you can notice what's actually happening. It's not weakness. It's the oldest part of your mind, still standing at the edge of an ancient fire, still asking the same question it has always asked. Is it safe? Am I still part of the group? What's out there in the dark? Tonight, your phone will buzz again. Your hand will move before you decide to move it. And in that half second before you look, some very old, very tired part of your brain will still believe, just for a moment, that it's checking the tree line for a predator, when really, it's just checking a notification from someone you barely know.